Hey guys, how are you? Yep, nice and early coming at you. It's Crypto Sniper in the black. Yeah. So what have we got for you? Well, important one. First of all, we're gonna give you a heads up. The title says 50k Bitcoin. That's right. This is probably the most significant number in between 10 and 100k. And also, it's kind of controversial because we also said don't go leverage long after the total run. So what are we seeing? We're actually seeing a clear stage of overperformance. Remember our 25,700 first cup gold nugget target. We actually had big squeezing wedge that's formed after it, and then a further blow off. And by the time you'd actually made the absolute high, it's 42k. So we are in a more dangerous space now because we have surpassed the target and we're in an overperformance zone where there can suddenly be a smackdown and some volatility. So you've got the dark state of Elon Musk pumping the coin, and then later you will have the Fed, good cop, bad cop, dumping the token at some point, or swearing some regulation. It'll be Granny Yoda or Agent Orange will come out again, just as Bitcoin is rushing near the top, and then they'll give it a slam down. And this is how they take your crypto from you. So they're quite confident, whether they owned it from the very, very beginning and it was all part of the plan, or whether they're just quite happy enough that with derivatives and pump and dump, they're going to shake everybody out, giving them margin, etc., etc. It doesn't matter where you stand on that, but this is a slightly more dangerous space. How much further will we go? However, within that, often after you've made a target, you often go into a slightly more mental state, which is kind of what we had on Bitcoin. So let's have a look at the charts. Roughly, the total, when it made its target, it actually overshot to 1.3. We had a 1.25, if you remember. In fact, let's go total first before we do Bitcoin. Total. Here he comes. There he goes. So there's the total. Often, when you finish a target, there's one option that can occur. You can not fizzle. You can actually go mental through the target. And this is when we typically talk of being in the overperformance zone. So you just pump through it. Remember, key levels are often broken with momentum. You can fizzle after them, which is kind of how typically you expect normal targets. But then we are in the mega bull. In the same way, 25,700 was too early to get out when you get a 42k high. And even the smackdown came all the way back down to 29, but it didn't go all the way down to 25,700. So we're now staying for that extra bit, which is higher risk, but can often be really fast and very beneficial. You might note this was all the period here, how much quicker it goes. So there was the rising wedge on Bitcoin. So draw with the pen, grab your favorite color, and there we go, like that. That was the rising wedge on Bitcoin. Note from that inflection point, that was a transition. So we teach about transition, stages. It's kind of like an Othello play. You go through Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and epilogue. The end, how it all ends, the murder and the gunshots and everyone. First they love each other, then they get stale, and then they kill each other. It's like there's three distinct phases. And this is kind of what happened here. So you squeeze up after the 25.7, which would have been around there. You squeeze up, and then you have a blow-off phase. That was the blow-off phase. I'm admittedly doing this on total now, but I know the Bitcoin chart really well. So that was the blow-off phase. So that was a transition. So what I'm saying to you here is that when we ran this target over here, this was your consolidation and then your target run. Now we're in another blow-off phase. But the blow-off phase can blow off for quite a while sometimes. So this is the zone of overperformance. So we've got a little thing for you here on the 15-minuter, which, whilst not the biggest time frame structure, it's not a structure like this one was, which was on, wait for it, the 4 hours there, which was quite significant, and we gave it to you. So you should have been biased long. Remember all the guys that were short, descending triangle on Bitcoin? We said, no, falling wedge break, bias long on cryptos, be heavily long. We were getting in at the 31s, really strong there, and we had a really good run. But we left something on the table with this overperformance. We knew it was an option, but it's dangerous. Sometimes you have to be a tad conservative when you're dealing with leverage. Remember, investment pot has stayed long the whole time. So it's had puppy face licks the entire period to the upside. Now, so you're bouncing along the top of this particular trend line, and you might do a pop out again. And that is why I want to take you into the 15-minute. But before I take you into the 15-minute Bitcoin, I want to also talk to you a little bit about the alts, what's happened, because total is a makeup of 63-64% odd, depending whatever Bitcoin. That's 62.29 at the moment, so it slipped a little bit, the Bitcoin dominance. Why? Actually, we had a very good alts evening there. So last night I was putting the guys back into particularly ADA. If you see our community board in a WhatsApp type structure, last night I was saying, guys, the ADA and the Ethereum is looking good, but particularly the ADA. So that chart, which I was sharing, was another squeeze with inside a rising wedge. This is what throws traders. These technical patterns are killing you guys from getting out of the bull market too soon, because they're really hard ones to potentially trade. So that's how it was last night. I was very fortunate on this particular trade. I didn't chase. I put like, okay, halfway there. Come back and get me, don't run. And actually I was lucky enough it came back and got me. And then how did ADA do overnight? It is one of our 5x5s, and we've been watching it more closely. So let's just talk about it, because we haven't given it so much airspace. That's what it did overnight. So you've just had a very good alt session overnight. So you can see that right there. Key inflection points, squeezing up in the wedge, then squaring up with a squeeze. That's a very positive way, because that sets up a surge on the up leg. So I was lucky to get filled there, actually, as it came back. You got a little squeezy Japanesey as well, the second one. But now what's happening is this kind of price behavior. Now that's a spike and then a spike, but then you're getting much more selling. This is the beginning of a little bit of slowing down. So what this probably tells me is that if what we're about to show you on the 15-minute on Bitcoin is about to occur, it means what you're likely to have is the alt might rest a little bit, and you're going to see a bump on that Bitcoin dominance, and the honey badger is going to suck up the new cash again. So it's going to be store of value again. We've had great themes, DeFi, platforms. So when I talk platforms, I'm talking ADA, DOT, and Ethereum, which is why we've kept you in the central space of Ethereum, because you get a bit of the DeFi love and joy as well. You've had your very distinct DeFi surges as well, which has brought the likes of Aave. Of course, we've also have Uni, etc. Coming along. So we're getting these bouncing around between these themes. So it's good to have an investment pot of all three themes: store value, your platforms, and your DeFi exposure, which our 5x5 did give you. Just for reminder's sakes, ADA, Polkadot, Uni, Aave were choices that we gave you, and Link. You can also do a hyper speculative one, a bit of game theory. I'm not putting this forward. I've not got a dog to fight, but some people get a bit emotional. But I've taken a staking coin like Hex as a speculative option, because I'm interested in the game theory element. And I chatted to Richard. And it's interesting, and I think he's a good guy. But that ADA is a mainstream token. I wouldn't put heavy exposure in that. That's my speculative penny pot. The 5x5 is a little bit more serious, and it's got Polka, ADA, Link, and let's say it one more time. Come on, dude. Aave and Uni as examples. So ADA overnight was really good and strong. And that's a positive thing. But the technical structure probably means you're going to start getting a few more surges, and you'll get a little bit more rounding out. So as Bitcoin runs, it might regain a little bit of that dominance. And we'll show you that. You can see it's come off quite a bit since its last surge. And it's not going to be the whole way down. Everyone just thinks Bitcoin dominance eventually to, irrelevance. No, it was the first token. So originally it was 100%, of course, but then it was in the 90s. The 90s was never going to retain that scale, as more important things like platforms, I wouldn't say more important, but other important things, let me say, like the platforms, the development out, all of that is coming. It's going to get elbowed into the store value corner if it's not there already. And that's fine. That's a 10 trillion market cap, or a 15 trillion, depending who you speak to, or 12 and a half trillion for gold, for example, market cap. That's pretty big. But then there's other things to happen. But people will be in the wrong shitcoins. I wanted to show something else to everybody. This is a really key point, a really key point. So before I give you this Bitcoin setup, and let's make sure I keep watching it. By the way, we love your comments. I'm going to check and revert to your comments. I will do it all the time. And I will give you 5 responses to the 5 best comments as well. If you have something sensible you want to say or ask, please drop it right in. If you just want to say thanks and you appreciate it, we really we like to hear that. Great gratitude is an amazing thing to express. It brings wealth to you, and it brings wealth and great gratitude from us too. An advert-free channel, mini series below for people who have no money. Grab it, it's totally on us. And more important, if you want to be part of our community, book a call. You could have been in the other trade overnight. Let me tell you, if you don't make, and it's sub 10 grand, if you use for everyone, because there's some guys that create conspiracies. There's a fixed price for everyone, first of all. It's sub 10 grand. If you make use of your window period, you get 3 days. So we don't put anybody under pressure. You have a 14-day money back, everything. It's just a good, we stand up, guys, in my opinion. But don't do it if it doesn't feel right. Links are below, book a call. Right, so Bitcoin dominance. I wanted to tell you something really important. So what's been happening is I looked at Bitcoin dominance and ETH dominance. Have a look at ETH dominance. Now, the interesting thing is, if you take ETH dominance, this is a key point before I give you the trade for today. And by the way, you should be watching Bitcoin on the 15-minute and keeping me heads up there, because otherwise you might miss it. But it is a long for 50K, and we'll cover it in a second. I think it's going to fall. The target officially is just shy of the 50K, but if it runs up there, again, as you've seen, you don't run up to a line, you run through a line. It's like running the 100-meter sprint. You've never seen a sprinter who stops dead 1 millimeter through the tape. So this is the ETH dominance chart, and I want to just show you how this is different to the BTC. Note where its neckline is on ETH dominance. The satanically evil number of 13, lucky for some. Yes, so that's your neckline on ETH dominance, and you're up at 14. You've broken well clear. Let's do that for ETH BTC, again, on the same time frame. So you can see the time frame, that's a daily one. ETH BTC, we'll go there. Can you see it's below its neckline on ETH BTC? What does that mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? How has Ethereum and Bitcoin done? Well, overall, from this original bias Ethereum long call down at 25, we've been accurate. So Ethereum has gained ground on Bitcoin after Bitcoin led the initial surge, right? We've kept you in Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now, if you do ETH dominance, it includes all other tokens, including Bitcoin. So we can see that actually against Bitcoin, it's still below the neckline and needs to resurge. But against everything, which includes Bitcoin, but all the other alts, so we have 3 categories, Ethereum, other alts, and Bitcoin, it's actually further ahead against the others. Now you can see how ETH BTC has gone. It's still below the neckline, had a bit of a slam dunk over there. So how's ETH performing relative to BTC versus how ETH's performing to the other alts? This is logic. We're using triangulation logic. What you should conclude is, in general, all other alts are underperforming the Ethereum token. Can you see that? Because ETH dominance against everything is higher than ETH just against Bitcoin. Can you understand that logic? Now, if you understand that, you will appreciate that we have continued to keep you in Ethereum and Bitcoin. And whilst there's been the likes of DOT, which has stormed, the likes of ADA that has stormed, if you take those into account, what does it tell you about the rest of the alts? Because we've had some flyers, we've got some DeFi flyers that you know have done exceptionally well recently. What does it tell you about the rest? It tells you that the likes of Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, BSV, all the others are hopelessly underperforming. Note, these are the areas and the tokens we've said to stay out of. on your macro level while you focus on FBTC and then have your 5 lucky proven strongholds in the DeFi and the platform phase for your 5x5 at 5%. Can you see retrospectively that that's been good guidance? I hope so. Give us a like if you appreciate that. That's what you've heard from us on the channel. That's the proof in the charts. And that is the money. There is no bullshitting on that. Those are the money and those are the stats. Let's go to Bitcoin itself and just talk about the structure pattern before we miss out on the big move. So, spoken to the community already. They have it already. They'll have their positions already. They, you've got to respect that. They've invested hard energy to make sure they get everything first. And that's why they're in there. But you might be able to come and join us. So what do we have here? It's on 15 minutes. It's actually even smaller than that. I could even do a 5-minute chart. The only reason, and I'm not here to give you 5-minute setups in essence, but you would agree with me that getting to the gateway, the doorstep, and possibly running 50K is a great moment. Whose face have you seen at all these critical great moments? Mine. Yeah, and some of the others doing this. Can you believe Bitcoin? But if you like that clickbait, that's good. I'll try not be an idiot, although maybe I'm a professional one instead of just an amateur one. But anyway, 50K is going to be a big number. And if you're going to go to the doorstep of 50K, you may well run it as well. Again, with that bit of overperformance. So this structure over here is a setup on a short time frame. It's a setup for a short time frame, and more importantly, the high took us up to the doorstep of 48,200. This is on Gemini, so I'm using a cleaner chart where I've done different draws. It's going to vary. You know that by now. And it dropped to 45,200. So you're looking at around about a $3,000 variance. If we are projecting upwards from around 46,500 and you're adding $3,000, it's quite clear that you're coming within $500 of the 50K mark. Will we balk at it and pull back and come back down, which is possible? Remember, we're in this dangerous past previous targets, now in a little bit of a blow off, final stages, maybe up move before maybe we get some form of a correction. You should walk more carefully now in terms of maybe scale or sizing. And also, this is a low time frame. This is a low time frame. So low time frame is not Russian roulette time, put the gun to your head, let's go all in. So please remember, if you are trading with leverage, make sure you're properly trained and you understand what you do and you know what your losses are. Nothing we say is financial advice. We are non-advisory or non-regulated. This is an entertainment and talking about how we see the world channel. Okay, so with that said, let's have a little look at the comments. What do you guys say? Are we running 50K in? Because let's be clear, on a 5-minute chart, the nice thing about a 5-minute pattern structure is that it plays out quite soon. You're wrong quickly. I mean, you guys will all be able to come and shit in the comment sections if we trade through the 45,600 and say you're wrong. And I'm quite open to being wrong, and I can be wrong. The market proves. We just know pattern behavior on balance of probabilities. We happen to hang out in the space where you get the most reliable patterns, where you get hyper extended rewards with possible overperformance on super tight risk. That's our game. We don't want to trade anything else. Yes, we draw head and shoulders, rising wedges and everything for the information it gives us, and sometimes for key inflection points, which are unique ways where we can also get hyper-extended rewards to super tight risk. That is risk-reward awareness with money management, where your stop is known just before. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Who's long? Speak Your Mind says, I am long, speak your mind. I think we will retest 42K, says JDR. Will we retest 42K after this, I ask you, or will we do it from here down? I don't think this is downside. I think it's upside, so I will quietly disagree. But as ever, it's a probability game. It's not a guarantee game. Will we have a double top by end of 2021 before BTC completes this final upleg? Let me just say something that all of you are going to get wrong, because I'm getting like a little bit of a bearish sentiment. When things go up, everybody's waiting for that reversal. And I'm saying to you, this is the single biggest super macro continuation pattern. That doesn't mean down legs are being cancelled, but generally you're going to be wrong when you try to be short. We clearly early stroke wrong by nature of the overperformance we're getting every time. So this is training me. It's training me that we're correct about everybody's going to get out too soon. Everybody's going to call tops too soon. Everybody's going to be wanting a reversal and looking at the big time frames and saying, how is this possible? Well, let me tell you, they positioned this as a substitute for precious metals. It makes me a little bit concerned. It makes me want to buy more physical silver personally with some profits. They're diverting us into it. Muskiness has been backed. He's been paid money by the likes of NASA and the Californian government in green that kept his business alive when it was completely non-profitable and all of this. If you don't think it's the equivalent of Donald Trump being carried through his casino era by Chase Manhattan Bank with Rockefeller at the helm and chairman of the bank, then you don't know anything about the power and history games. You don't know how he was starting to get his higher profile as Steve Jobs' one was being wind down. They create even your heroes for you, my friends. And they are blessed and gifted, and they turned out to be these amazing entrepreneurs who are very well funded and now are the richest people on the planet, if you're to believe everything. Now, so my overall view is that's good cop for Bitcoin. And the guy that tones it down is your fuddy-duddy Fed types. And when it's gone too far, they just play up, down with that. And they can create pumps and dumps, give you leverage, and you stump up all your Bitcoin to their institutional friends. It's quite simple. They just have to be patient. So be careful. Don't be part of that. Right. Last time it did HVF after rising wedge, it broke down in November, December 2020. It's done many HVFs in rising wedges since then, I'm afraid. November, December, and most things are going up on balance of probs. Bitcoin, the new world standard this decade, says Mickey. JP Morgan is stacking silver hard. Follow the money. Silver is going to pump. I would look to cover physical if I were JP Morgan. Watch Binance Smart Chain, Pancake Swap. I'm sacking Binance. They've stopped giving me Tether access and they're saying we don't have this asset. I don't even have any leverage anymore on Binance. I'm moving everything out. They've got a terrible, clunky, confusing platform that is not easy to use. I still honestly don't understand how it works in fullness. And I've taken one of my community members' FTX links and I'm going to go use them as replacement for my Binance platform. I can't handle Binance. BNB coin pumping and strong. Good luck to them. You've got decentralized exchanges coming through Uniswap. I think there's going to come a point where Binance hits a reality check. ETH is like Ford. ADA is like Tesla, says Mr. Brad. May well be, may well be. They still got to get their smart contracts out. They earlier in the development chain, but they claim to be better off. Your loss, you're crazy. They're number one in the market. Lorenzo says, my loss for leaving Binance. Number one, yeah, maybe. There's plenty of liquidity elsewhere. I much prefer using the Phoenix and the others. Other guys saying FTX is amazing. You'll love it. BNB has 40% last 20 days. Liquidity isn't the problem for me. Usability is the problem. And give me access to some leverage. You know, I gave up and paid out some Tether and paid back my loan, and they won't let me lend it back. They've lent it to everybody else. I've been with them for ages. I've got a substantial account. Fuck you, basically. If you're going to tell me no resources, then get some more resources. Also, they're going down so many times. Had a guy they went down and he got liquidated while it was down. He's clearly made money management errors. Not in my community, a friend. They often seem to go down at the wrong time. I don't like that. I don't like people with a history of going down. Server up if you're number one. Sorry, there's a company called AWS. Anyway, I'll rant forever. I'm not doing them any good services. I don't find them usable. It's a personal opinion. I haven't got anything against CZ. He seems a reasonable guy, but his platform is shit, in my worldview. Can't go against making cash. BNB up and up. Yeah, until it's no longer the exchange of choice. I've seen a lot of things be in favor and go out of favor. Bitfinex was the largest exchange at one point. FTX is great and their team respond to any issues. Highly recommend them, says Fala Koala. So anyway, we're talking exchanges now. So what do you guys think? I want your comment. Is this an upside break that'll take us to the gateway of 50K? In my worldview, on balance of probabilities, I say yes. Don't vote with me, vote against me, vote partially with me, vote partially against me. Tell me your opinion. Are we going? And by the way, as a 5-minute chart, that would mean I would expect in the next 48 hours, more likely the next 24. I don't want to put too aggressive a time scale for that, but that's quite a move. It would require another 10-12% from here, depending where we officially start. If we were to come down somewhere at the 46K mark, just above, or 46,200, you've got to make 4,000 plus, so it's around about 8 or 9%. But it's a big shoe to drop, 50K. Don't forget, guys, when First Cup Gold Nugget broke, it was 10,700. 10,700 in, and it came back in second chance for us. You could have had it in October at 10,700. We're talking about a 5x on Bitcoin. Many people not done that well themselves. A 5x on Bitcoin. Plus, during that period, we've got you into Ethereum later after the Bitcoin first surge and then into the Ethereum. This was before other people like the Real Vision guys had woken up to the potential of Real Vision, Ethereum. We were going to have a chat. We've got a date and time set, by the way, with Alex Saunders. He's going to talk to us on the platform tokens. He's far more knowledgeable in that space. So we'll chat with him. He'll be a guest. We've got him coming down. I think it's next Wednesday. He's confirmed. That's great news. Come in. Subscribe, by the way, to Nugget's channel for some good fundamental news. So I'm the technical and charts guy. There's some other great guys out there. Omar Ban, Nuggets, etc. And even the face pulling guys. I don't know them personally, but you know they do a great job of continually putting stuff out. But choose your content carefully. Choose for technical trading decisions. I don't think there's any better place to be than the crypto sniper. Yeah, I'm no expert, but I am expecting BTC to go sideways for a couple of days. Everyone is too conservative. You guys are confirming my bullishness with your inherent conservatism about this now. This is classic of the wall of worry. You climb a wall of worry to new highs. It's a fact. Let me tell you, the Nasdaq's going higher. You're saying, but, overvalued. It's going higher. But, over. The small techs are pumping. We're trading in it. I've loaded up on small techs. I'm going to be doing something on energy and oil. The man who called single-digit oil. I know this is a crypto channel, but you come on. We're doing a live stream this afternoon on energy and oil, calling for oil to go $100. There is no sound money. The dollar of today is not the same dollar of 10 years ago, which wasn't the same dollar that was created, that's now lost 97, 98, 99% of its value. If you just listen, Stanley Druckenmiller was talking, ex-partner of George Soros, only slightly less, I think, control structure-y, but certainly mingles with the other billionaires plenty. He was talking and he was just saying, man, buckle up. There's never been a time like this. There is no sound money anymore. These things can go higher, faster, further. Remember the analogy, the beach ball, or where's my coronavirus ball? The coronavirus ball that I hold in my hand, you've got to squeeze all of Jupiter into that. Jupiter's been broken up into boulders and little rocks, and this thing's got to expand and take it all. What do you think? Where's Apple? Tesla's now investing in Bitcoin. What about Mr. Tech Company, always innovator, always cool, always one of the first? Where they're on their crypto announcements. What happens when you have a cash-rich company like that wants to start buying it? Where's all the other tech companies? Samsung, whatever. This is high-speed adoption, guys. And the Fed will just be the brake and the slam down, and the corporates, the mega corps, will be the pump. So these things this is going to get disorderly quick. They want to bring on this reset. They're in a hurry. It's time for their Messiah to come. They want to bring on this reset, buddy. You've got to expand that whole new game so that you can shut down the old shop. You've got to move the whole new store into the whole new premises. It's going to be quick. They don't want to lose out on retail sales. The old horse is dying. The old horse is dying. By the way, you'll see on the same discussion in the energy tonight. I'm going to have a look at the bond market. I'm calling a top on the bond market. What does that mean? The bond market is a debt market. The debt market, I'm calling a top on the debt market from an inverted structure that many people thought was going to go up. We think it's going to go down. It's already started going down. It's going down in a very orderly, moderated fashion. I'm saying a 40-year. Some of you watching this are less than 40 years old. A 40-year bull market in debt is over. The next move in interest rates are going to be forced increases, potentially. Forced increases. They may do QE at the same time. It's kind of like pouring petrol on the fire on one end and water on the other end. I don't know. But I am saying debt is over. The game is up. More and more companies start moving in and putting 1% into Bitcoin. Where do you think they're going to lighten up? On debt, that's going backwards. We'll talk more about this on the Market Sniper channel. By the way, YouTube is desubscribing people and taking you off being always on notifications. That's what the people in the comments are telling me. Not one person, not two people, multiple digits. Please go to subscribe and hit always. And you might have to do it again and again. You are being denotified on that. Let's see what else you got. Facebook coin will hit exchanges soon. Yeah, that's going to go totally mainstream if they do it. Although the central bank certainly crapped the bed when they started talking about it. Swissborg has done nicely, and with all the adoption it will do great over time. They are adding BTC staking soon. Yep, that's somebody wants you to know about Swissborg. What's the chart about the bond market he's talking about? Anyone knows? Come and watch the YouTube tonight. We'll throw it out roundabout starting 5:30 on UTC +2 time. Wherever you are. Hi, Sniper. You think a deflationary event like the one we witnessed in March is still possible to happen? Yes, it is possible. It's the only way they'll be able to keep interest rates down. Yes, it is possible. You know, when oil that was hammered is going up so strongly, it's on depleted, diminished dollars. Are you doing more driving? Are you doing more flying than usual? No, no, and no. Yes, supply adjusted down hard. There's less rigs out in the ocean than there's ever been. So we've right-sized the supply that's killed the glut. But this is also going to be part of the inflation. Keep an eye on 10-year yield. Yes, we'll be talking about that. We'll be taking the 20-year chart. Everyone wants to love BNB, so I'll show you the chart. But I would personally say it's going to be tied to the performance of that exchange. It's going to be tied to the performance of that exchange. And while the performance is good, great, is it the only exchange? Is it the best exchange? In terms of usability, I do not consider it so. You can take my opinion as someone who's stupid, who doesn't know how to do much on it. That's on Hitbit. It's a bit of a sketchy chart. But that is BNB token. It's a super spike. That's just new folks coming in. But let me just say something for all those that think, wow, isn't that so awesome? Do BNB Ethereum. It would have done well recently. But overall, how are you doing? So when Binance first listed and came out, maybe monthly is a bit big. You may think that's only way is up. It's in a relative strength performance now. But if you take it since July of last year, it's shed ground to Ethereum repeatedly. As I say, measure it against Ethereum. You can also measure it against DOT and Cardano, if you like, and then decide if you want to hold it. It's an exchange token. In terms of utility, its fate is intricately aligned to the exchange. What else have you got for me? What is a good entry for BTC? So 46,200, 46,300 is good if it comes there. But don't let it run away from you by the time it runs away. So let's go back to the primary reason we're here. See that little hammer on the 5 minute, a warning that we may not go lower. In fact, inside of all of this, you may well just get, note this 47,000 key level. That's called a tweezer top right there. You may, in fact, that's a little hammer that's forming. You may get a squeezy within a squeezy, which is very, very Japanesey, that. You're doubling up. And that will just give you an even larger boost. To me, it's upside, guys. Quite high probability. But can I be wrong? Absolutely. You decide. You decide. By the way, you don't need a substantial amount to make 10K and be in our community if this goes to 49,500 on a single trade. If you can't deal and build, earn back an entire year's worth of education updates, then we've seriously failed you with 12 full months, which is bull bear. And by the way, this is the best time. People make the most money. It's a sad fact, but people make their most money in runaway bull markets because everybody understands being net long. They can still get it wrong. That doesn't mean they can't blow themselves up. But overall, people make their most money in net markets. It's a great kind of market to learn and grow and get your money earned back. And it won't always be like this, but it could be hyper like this for an extended period. People will be calling tops too soon. Generally. And even us, we say, look, we're out of the hyper growth period now. We might be in progress decay at 44, 45,000 Bitcoin, and it traded up to 48. And we're now saying it's looking like it's got legs to retest a new high. This is all part of that, taking a bit extra once you've done. Everything is a bleed up higher, even when it should be in normal markets having what I'd call a pullback or a falling wedge or something that just lets it breathe a bit. It breathes by not going up as fast. That's it. This is not going up as fast, but sets up the new up leg. That right there for me. And I would expect BTC Dominance to inch up higher during this period and maybe the alts to just rest. So sometimes Bitcoin being too strong and too pumpy takes a little bit away from the other side. So there can be a bit of a seesaw. They can all go up, which is when net total is all advancing. New money is coming in entirely. Then it's just which one is going up relatively quicker. We use HVF method to determine that. You saw the other overnight trade. But sometimes when there's a little bit of new money coming in, but it's all going into one area, the store of wealth area. So that could be treasury of corporates deciding they all need to do a micro strategy. By the way, you hear from Elon after he's got his 1.5, never during or before. People don't do that. So he was sending everyone into Doggy, go pump a meme coin, which can fizzle. Go have a look at Doggy to BTC chart. Should I just spare you that? Because some people are trading it. You're trading the casino if you go into Doggy. It's as simple as that, guys. This is BTC. Hold on. Doggy BTC. Tells me I already have it. Let me put in Bittrex as well. At least I know I'll find one of them. The list is so long. There we go. So apart from when it was listed, what's that chart? It's a pump and dump scheme. It's a straight up pump and dump scheme. It's a void to park money in when you're misdirecting it from where it needs to be. So he's buying Bitcoin. He probably, by the time he put Bitcoin in his Twitter profile, they were done buying. That was a big surge. Everyone else waking up. Oh, there's something coming. Oh, there's something coming. But before that, he was with the Wall Street bets, guys, and it's all about Doggy. Doggy. Don't be a bag holder somewhere here. Yes, we traded, some of the guys traded in HVF. If there's a technical pattern and the whole of retail market's going to pump it, we'll take the money, but we're not holding this. What's the next leg? What do you call these? High wicks over there. So be careful if you want to talk about Doggy. Be careful. There's a difference between investment, investing in a project with real development, and a meme token. And I'm all for laughs, and I love dogs, so it's all good, but just know what you're dealing with here. Know what you're dealing with. It's a void. It's a dead end to chase, misdirect people when you should have all been buying Bitcoin ahead of Elon, and he should have been pushing your price higher, getting his 1.5 billion. That's a big ass bubble he had to push into the market. He didn't want smart, awake retail traders getting in front of him and pushing the price up, did he? Go chase up meme coin, which will dump later when no one else cares and no one new money is coming into it. Snoop says human healer. FOMO, speak your mind. Live analysis. Yes, live analysis it is. BTC, rumpy pumpy, and a little bit of pumpy pumpy. Both kinds are good for me. Let's go back. So I'm going to finish here on the chart. By the way, don't forget, free mini series below. Book a call if you want to become part of the community. We're still taking new members for now. And Bitcoin could be going to the gateway of the 50K market. And can I just say, that's around 10%. It's around 10%, possibly just under actually. It's around 8%. What does that mean for total? That's not on a log, but if you get another 8%, 10% on 1.4, you're at 1.4 billion. Can you see that here, guys? 1.4 billion. Let me just make the chart a little bit more logical. I'll even give it a log scale. No, it won't allow me. Let's see if I use the other mouse. Are we moving? Are we moving? Are we moving? We'll go back to the Bitcoin. Yeah. So 8% of 14. You're going to be picking up another 100 grand. This is a 1.5 trillion. So Bitcoin to 50K is a 1.5 trillion event. So having called for the 900,000s to take you to 1.25, 1.25, the overperformance is playing, hey, you've got triple and two pairs. Have a royal flush. It's giving you on top of that. Scaled a move. So let's go have a look at the Bitcoin chart. My watchers are watching and they are saying excitement is coming. Way! Free money! I love it when a plan comes together. Yeah, so that's break. So we are leveraged long and the market is loving us long time and we are very happy with that. Let's get that Bitcoin chart up. I love starting a morning with tens of thousands raining down upon you. Come on, guys. This is the time where you've got to build in this wealth reset times to properly get away. It's not going to be good. So the guys that are doubting our call on the long side, I would be very cautious. Don't short this, please. I really wouldn't. That is, for me, it will be what we refer to as a triggering event. That little squeezy I spoke to you about. Gave the final wind up. What's happened? You've traded above the key level of significance, the 37K. You are doing a live trade with us. I do this sometimes with the guys in the community ad hoc. We go in, we talk about the trade, we put it on. If it's a short timer like that, while we streaming, the trade moves in your favor. And that's powerful. I decided to do this one free view. The guys were all heads up. They were all tucked in that wanted it. And now they can watch me on YouTube. And you can become part of it too. By the way, you can get a return move. Remember, just because you might be going up, right, on balance of probabilities, 49,500, maybe gatewaying 50K, you can also get pullbacks along the way. What was significant resistance, 47K, I think I said 37K, I didn't mean that, can get a revisit. Don't ever try avoid being that guy who enters at market chasing a pump. Some of you right now are doing that on your platform. You're going, can't miss out, adrenaline dumping into your head. Must make the 49K. Sniper giving me free money. You might get a revisit. You might get a revisit. Can't guarantee you, but you might get a revisit. This is called a belt hold candle. Very strong. With a little look the other way though, a lower wick and a pressing on up. So, yep, that's good. Okay, guys, let me one more run through the comments to see if there's anything else you want me to discuss or talk about. And then I'm going to let you go. Join us for the oil, the bond markets, and all of that. So I'm now stuck in draw mode. Hate it when that happens. Technical difficulties have emerged. Okay, it won't let me exit draw mode, so I've lost my mouse. Let me just see if that will touchscreen. There we go. That's it, it's back. Thanks. Oh, thank God for touchscreen. The mouse stopped working. Okay, let's just have a look at your questions. Monthly non-log chart is not natural, says Mellow Fellow. Nothing's going to be natural about this. Forget this new paradigm. This is not an ordinary bull market. You're going to exit too soon. My investment pot stays net in and long. You're going to exit too soon. Buy Apple now? You might do, but why not just buy the Bitcoin ahead of them that they might be trying to buy? Assuming they do. Did Tesla price go up after BTC buy? We got a little point on that one. Could be structure setting up on Tesla. We're discussing it in the community. You want to know more about what we think on Tesla and various other high-tech equities, including small caps that are absolutely pumping in the life sciences area and everywhere else. But that's for another day. Pump It says the channel 9009. Did we all win a trip to Lagos? You're going to have a couple of trips and back if you like, if this one comes home. Cardano, I think he means Cardano, but anyway, I'm dyslexic too. Hi Sniper, how about XTZ? A little bit of a fall away, XTZ. In terms of this alt season, it just hasn't done what the others done. Let's just clear the face there. Catching up a little bit though. Didn't have, gave you a little setup in there, but others are overperforming. One of the key things, again, just remember the key rules. Just take that favorite alt and put it up against ETH. And ask yourself, is this performing well? How does that look to you? Looks pretty awful to me. That's the classic man pees off the roof pattern, by the way, if you've ever wondered what he means by that. There's your roof. We call it a Batman head. It's not quite a head and shoulders because these apexes, mosque and minaret style, man stands there and has a wee-wee. You don't want to be underneath there. You don't want to be weed upon. So in terms of that, why you're in it, little broadening structure for a deeper dip low on a real sell-off. No. Could it recover? Will it gain a bit of ground? Has it become undervalued? Possibly. Could it even spike somewhere up here? We've got tons of charts that do that, but then they fizzle back down again. So, you know, don't be there. Don't be there. Could it bounce now for a short term? Maybe, but generally that's not a trend I buy. I'd rather be in Ethereum. When to buy BTC? Richard Wang, what have you been doing? What have you been doing? We've been here telling you. We've been here telling you. You haven't been paying attention or you've just joined. So we currently think it's going to go. We currently think it's already going. We currently think if you can get it at 47,000. The tens are changing so quick I can't even move forward. 47,000, it's probably got a chance of making it to 49.5, 49 into the 49s, possibly a gateway run with a bit of overperformance through to the 50k. Or will it bulk at the 50k, go up to 49,800s, and just go, yeah, not ready for this big moment, and then have a big pullback and we kind of top out like it's too scary? Or will it just run it and then pull through it and then dump back down it? Or will it absolutely whine through it and go, what the hell, this thing's only way up, and you get a out of the blue, unexpected, you're all climbing the wall of worry, you're all too bearish. It could do the absolute skill run through the 50k and do an absolute charger and stop at 56 before it then has a 9k dip. All three of those are possible. All three of those are possible. Could it fail and run here? I'm out at this point. And I start to get concerned if we go here. So it's not the most convincing break so far, which points to that we're at the bottom of the barrel and we're scraping some more. So be warned, it won't necessarily be comfortable. So make sure you have your stops if you go and have some lunch, because things could go wrong real quick and it's done. patterns can recycle, they can extend, they can set up again. Be warned. And as I've already stated, we're in that past the last target blow off period. So you're playing on the 5-lane highway in Monday morning traffic, high speed autobahn. Who's the idiot? XLM chart. We've covered XLM. Will you kill that?
It's a lot of members.
Just think what... okay, guys, I'm going to kill the stream. Thanks very much for popping on. We'll see how it goes. You got a Bitcoin call. Is it going to fizzle and fail? It can do that. Don't over trade. Don't oversize. Have a stop loss. Accept the outcome. It is in the overperformance period. Could reverse. It can extend and reset. All of those things can happen. It can overperform if it does eventually get going, and it can also fail. That's your morning quick check-in on possible small time frame, and also a little bit cautious the alts now if Bitcoin is going to have a run. If Bitcoin does the opposite and has a fall, also cautious the alts. So could be either one way or the other way. This is your God market, and we'll see what comes of it. Remember also on the total on that God market, you are squeezing up like that. So it's quite possible to have a down leg to here before maybe breaking up out of it, or even having a breakdown. So squeezing up, that points to a fair amount of FOMO already being baked in. So watch out, we're getting near the end. Big impulsive move to the downside, all bets off. Okay, let's leave it there. Book a call below. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate your comments. I will reply to the top 5 comments. Report anything that's spammy in there. I will never post and put WhatsApp pictures. Something with my image doesn't mean it's me, even if it says the crypto sniper. I will never comment and put a telephone number or anything else in there. Do not click on those. Report them straight away. It's obvious spam. So we keep our comment section very clean. Thank you. Goodbye. See you for Market Sniper later today. Bonds, oil, energy, inflation. All good for Bitcoin. Bye for now.